morning, and this is again Michael Ivey, and this is today's diatribe. I'm going to continue these blogs, video blogs, until we get more response and we get actually people to respond and do something about it. So either you get used to deleting me, not watching me, totally ignoring me, or maybe just sit back and be entertained for a second. Today's diatribe is the Constitution revised. I'm a 59-year-old man, and I never thought I would live to see the day our beloved Constitution became another mat to be stomped on, hacked at, misinterpreted, revamped, and revised, and finally destroyed, all under the guise of terrorism. Terrorism is the new word of the new century. Remember Bush calling terrorism that evil, opening up the bipartisan door to further destroy the Constitution? We now have this wonderful law called the Patriot Act. This was enacted after the 9/11 attacks, and this new law rips away at all your constitutional rights. Not just the second, or the third, or the fourth, but all of your rights. I believe our forefathers were either gifted psychics, or most likely it was due to the fact that they had lived through enough tyranny imposed by King George and the government of England. I mean, after all, why should they pay taxes to a country when the Americas that they love and they make all the goods from and produce, they should be taxed on? You do realize it's all about money. Money equals power, and those who have both run the world. I would like to believe our forefathers actually cared about their citizens, but being a history major and concentrating on money, power, rule, and especially the elite, just love the elite, I know it's never about us. It's about the sheep that they call us, and it's always about the shepherds. They, the elites, the powers, the people who make the power. They know, or they try to know, just how far they can push, pull, and drain a people before they rise up and revolt. Every revolution comes down to a few bare facts. People are hungry, the wealthy don't care, the poor die by the thousands, and the wealthy don't care, and the poor continue to labor and make the rich richer, while the people struggle just to stay afloat. Just look at every revolt and see what commonalities lie in each. If I were to ask you what type of government we live in, I'm sure you would respond with, we live in a democracy. Yeah, you know, we vote for presidents. We elect our officials to do what we want them to do. Wrong. You live in what is known as an oligarchy/polyarchy. That definition means that you live in a system where the few rule the many, and the few own all the wealth. Ergo, the 1%. We're the 99%. And the 1% of the nation owns the wealth, the power, the cards to all the games, leaving you and I holding the proverbial empty bag. How did this happen? It happened slowly, quietly, sneaky, and then bam, 2 planes into a building, and since the 9/11 attacks, our nation has become the new McCarthyism, the new McCarthy era. Everyone is suspect and no one is beyond reach. We allowed this to happen because our government, like most governments, works secretly, quietly, behind closed doors, and with your hard-earned money. Because if they didn't, we would revolt. I use the analogy of the frog in boiling water. If you place a frog in water and just slowly raise the temperature, the frog just sits there quietly, croaking, looking around and enjoying what frogs enjoy. Until you have a boiled frog. We are that frog, Americans. I ask you what it would take for you to stand up and tell our government, enough's enough. Just tell me, okay? Let me give you some, let's just give me some scenarios. How about if I raise the gas to $10 a gallon? No. Okay, how about the cost of a gallon of milk? $10. Still no? How about your government allowing food producers to knowingly poison your food with nitrates, nitrites, growth hormones, antibiotics, cannibal eating cow food? What about them? What about the ingredient list on a bag of Oreos? Have you looked lately? How about costing your children or your parents $40,000 or $50,000 in school loans when there's no jobs out there? Last chance. Okay, what if our government wanted to listen in on all your phone calls, all your computer entries, all your computer centuries, your library visits, hey, maybe even the types of movies you like to watch on Netflix? Guess what, Americans? They already do it. You are sheep. I'm a sheep. And the elites know that. Do you realize in the boardrooms of all the corporate executives in all the world, you're called a sheep? Or better yet, we're called sheeple. because they know sheep are easily led and need to be herded. Our consciousness, Freud said it best, there's no such thing as a democracy. It's an illusion because we're sheep. We want to be herded. But sheep are also easily frightened. And what happens when you frighten sheep? They stampede. Now, I've listened to the conservative right and the left haggle over our right to bear arms. But they conveniently ignore the first premise of the Second Amendment, and that is for each state to keep and maintain a well-armed militia. Then it says the right to bear arms. So why do we neglect that first premise of the argument of the amendment of the Second Amendment to maintain a fully well-equipped and armed militia? Well, why is that? Because the federal government doesn't want you rising up and saying, whoa, we're not putting up with your crap. Well, guess what? That's what happened with about 20 soldiers on a bridge in Concord, Massachusetts. They said, no, we're tired of this. We're not doing this anymore. So 20 men, maybe more, stood there against a well-armed, well-formed, biggest power in the world of time, and they were murdered. Ergo, the shot heard round the world. So again, America, I'm asking you, what is it going to take for you to stop and listen and start to do something about what's going on in this country? I wear my hat that says I belong to the NRA. Does that make me Ted Nugent? No, Ted Nugent's an extremist. Plus, you know what? He just loves getting the air. What I'm trying to do is I want you to stand up and say enough's enough. We are not going to let corporations take away our freedoms. We are not going to let our government walk all over us with the lies and the innuendo that they put before us. And we are going to elect officials by our vote. No more electoral college. Gone. So, this is the beginning of an organization to bring Americans together to march on Washington, D.C. Peaceful, and demand America be returned to the land that it has been. We are America. We are the United States of America. And if we don't do something soon, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be the divided states of America. And California will be a country. The South will be a country. The North will be a country. You will have to have passports to go to Illinois. So join me peacefully, march on Washington, and demand change. I will continue with these daily until we get enough people to march on Washington. And guess what? If it's just me and 19 other people standing on a bridge in Concord, Massachusetts someday, then so be it. Now, are you going to put up or are you going to shut up? Let's see where you are. And if I catch you watching the Kardashians and Snooki, I'm pretty sure I can call you a sheep. You guys have a good day. Keep fighting the fight. Sorry I'm in bed, but twisted my leg. Bye-bye.